What is this though? Why do they always need to sing this? Horrible. Anyway. So hello people. I don't even know what I'm streaming. An error occurred. I hope you don't have that error. It looks fine here on the other platform. It does. Perfect. I guess I don't need the sound here as well. So hello. How are you guys? I was gonna start some music, but the playlist is horrible. And without having listened to this music, I'm uncomfortable playing it, to be honest. So I guess everybody fancies some ACC. Okay, whatever. Just quickly logging into RST. I hope that should work. Hi from Berlin. That's not so far away. Yeah, I thought, always the data creation is always a very useful way to stream because it's no extra work. So is this running smoothly? Yeah, no lost frames or anything. And I just got my rim back yesterday because I gave it away to refurbish a few days ago. Morning, yeah. Is this camera alright, by the way? Because, I mean, it's very face focused and doesn't show the wheel or anything. Now I can tell you this jacket is going to be way too warm. I'll get rid of it real quick. So what do you think, music, yes or no? Haven't heard the playlist, just checked for like royalty free, but this is more like this is crazy boring. I think Marcel Kiefer showed me a playlist the other day. Let me quickly check. I'll jump over here. Harris Heller is what he recommends. Let's hope the guy has some taste. Harris Heller. What does he say though? So word is his playlist is royalty free, so let's go with this for a second. Ja, Jonas, warum nicht? Yeah, thanks, Danny. I have the review of the second round scheduled already. Is this loud enough? Hope so. Anyway, let me quickly check what requests have been on Discord lately. Horrible. This definitely got longer. Mercedes Monza, nah. McLaren Brands Hatch. Ferrari Silverstone. Lambo Misano. Sounds like something. Lambo and Ferrari at Misano could be something. Yeah. Donington Aston. Porsche Silverstone. Blech. McLaren Paul Ricard. Very long track, very difficult track. Suzuka Porsche sounds horrible. Audi and Silverstone, okay. Snetted and Bentley, okay. Lexus Olden, more Porsche. McLaren Laguna Seca. Okay, so try Lambo Misano. Porsche killing me. Porsche is very painful. always oatmeal in the morning. Never gets boring. Some fruit, some nuts. Not going to do a Spa Porsche ever. Dialing the car in there is painful. And no, it's not. And Tortellini has already shown how quick it can go, so there's no need for me to double down, I think. So where's my game? Oh, I don't have Steam started yet. What? Nah. Porsche, it has speed. I think it's the quickest around Spa right now, judging by whatever Tortellini did there. The 15.1 is nuts. No. I just don't know the Porsche enough. And the level of setups in general is just so high right now. It just takes me forever to set a decent time. Well, okay, let's start the game. Just quickly gotta check if RST is running. It's not. Wait, you playing on a controller with gloves? Nah, beating Tortellini isn't your typical morning routine. I think they just gave it a bit more punch. That's all. My login for RST is a bit... Ah, there you go. Well, something is broken. 1 second. Jo, habe ich bekommen, Jonas. Mache ich dann das nächste Mal, wenn ich Musik brauche. Habe ich mir schon gesaved. Aber ich glaube, wenn ich im Game bin, dann braucht man das ohnehin nicht so richtig. Kommt ja eh gleich die Hintergrundmusik. Yeah, but I think also this whole stability I built into the Porsche sets makes it nice to drive, but I don't think it's necessarily the fastest. Where's the music volume here? Nice. Shall we use this cam? And what did I say I found on the list? A Misano and... So let's go to... Where's my hot lab? There's hot lab, there's the... Yeah, that's a normal condition. Oh wait. Now everything has changed again. Nice. Old to now. That was... So the first thing I saw was Misano and the Audi. Man, I miss driving this car. It looks so pretty. However, here's the Audi. Don't think I have a livery, sadly. And it should do. The old Ferrari? No, not really. Not that I tried the new much. Mm-mm. Nah, yeah, maybe we can try the McLaren next. So, I got these new gloves from Sparko, so like the V2 of their Hypergrip Plus, and the old ones, like they have this, I don't know how you call it in English, but the strip, to ease of access, but they're completely worn out, have holes everywhere. So I got the new version, but the new version doesn't have the opening strip there anymore, and just has the rubber band here. So I bit harder to put them on real quick because it's really tight. I guess it widens a bit over time. Anyway, so I probably don't have any setup here. Let's see. January 2020. I'm not sitting in the rig. I'm working. So I guess we start from the aggressive preset, which normally has a very wrong aero balance right now, because this is still pre pre-December patch, right? So we'll probably want to have more rearing right away. And I guess I will only change the standard bits for now, which is brake bias usually has to go backwards from the aggressive preset. Let's see about the bumps of range on the rear and the front. I guess we'll find out later. And, well, brake pads 1, I guess. Unlikely we'll have to use something like this. Let's see. And pretty sure the pressures will be wrong, but we'll find out in the lab. Oh, so it's like tempo handkerchief that's Velcro band, but we definitely don't mention the brand in Germany because I've never heard of it. Okay. So let's do a quick lab for tire pressures. They're probably wrong.
Green light, show them what you got.
And you want to get a benchmark time in these temperatures, like 23, 28. I can tell I'm not awake yet. So interesting to drive a car that goes where you steer. Very uncommon for me. What do you mean 2 cameras on? Oh, 1 sec. I haven't checked the scene. Let me check what I'm actually showing you. Yeah, I guess the webcam is running, but what's the issue? Yeah, I got the wheel back. 2 cameras on, 32 something. Yeah, I think it must be in the 31s at least. Sorry, I don't have an SC2 to I just don't have an SC2 and I'm not aware of that particular issue, so it's hard for me to say anything about it, to be honest. Guess that's something for the hardware channel on Discord. Okay, yeah, I turned the camera off, but it... Not sure. Anyway. Oh yeah, the rear is loose still. So setup still needs to have the aero balance a bit further backwards, I guess. And the pressures are entirely wrong. I'll just stop it before the line, because else I don't see the pressures to adjust them. So front left, a bit low, so we need like 0.7 more. Let's do 0.5 more. 6, 7. Let's start with 7. And need a full PSI on the right at least. So probably 10 or 11 clicks, something like that. Full PSI on the left rear, and 1.5 here. Okay, so this should work. So I can already tell the aero balance is tough in that corner. So either reduce that further, which I probably won't like, or we can stiffen up the whole car a bit, which should give us more stability, but it also changes. Okay, the distribution. So like what I'm thinking is now the soft is a tad, the front is a bit softer than the rear. And if we go one click higher on both, now the front is stiffer than the rear. So the car becomes more understeery overall. Maybe this already fixes the aero balance or imbalance, so to say. I didn't make my... Oh, what do you mean by video design? You mean the... what do you mean? Content or cutting? Because I'm bad at cutting. So many questions. All right. I'm just checking off the list for the RST requests that I got. So that's why I use the Audi on Misano. Thames is always 23.28 in these kind of things. And to be competitive in the BMW, be fast. But there's no secret to the car or anything. You just have to really respect the limits the car has, because it's very penalizing above the limit. Once you lose the grip, it's not going to come back. Yeah, I think it drives good, but yeah, getting it to the limit and staying there an entire race is really tricky. Okay, so let me quickly check if RST is running now. Yeah, it's down there. Just have to select the game so it also records. There you go. I should turn... No, I don't need that. Okay, so I made tiny changes for now. So many simians. At what speed a corner is considered a fast corner? I think that's something like 160 plus or so, roughly. Or 180 plus is a fast corner. So you'd have the low speeds up to maybe 100 or so, where aerodynamics don't play such a big role. Then you have the medium speed, where it's the aerodynamic impact gets a lot more, and let's say from 100 to 160, 70, maybe 80, and then you have the high speed corners above that. But for example, Puhorn, I'd say, is a high speed corner as well, and that's around 170. So yeah, the threshold isn't really a clear cut line. Okay, so let's see. The balance was already better. Is it just my eyes, or is that some frames missing? Very sensitive on the steering still. On the steering. NSX in Hungary. I know it's not on the list for now. Where's Dog of Pills? Sounds East European. So pressure's much better now. But this corner should be flat, especially in hot lap trim. So yeah, just 1 or 2 laps for myself to get used to the car maybe, before making too many changes. Better. Setup isn't too bad. I'm bad. I still feel like I'm missing some frames. Like V-Sync is off. Maybe it's just early though. Okay, that's still very fierce. So it does have understeer in general, and still a snappy rear when the brake is applied. Horrible. Oh, great, improved by 100. Okay, so let's think a bit. The camera down to see the predicted what? Oh no, that's too much of a scene change. I just show you the scene then. But it's not like I think the FOV is like 45. But remember, I have the ultra wide, so you only see the center part of the screen. I haven't driven the McLaren on Monza, so I don't know. It's not that I know every combination in this game and have a setup advice. I have no clue until I drive it. The same as everyone. Is that matching his viewable distance? I also have no clue. This is just good to drive. So setup. The rear is still trying to pitch him too much. It's very weird on the brakes into this fast right, and it's one of the most important corners here. So I guess we'll have to adjust that a bit more. Limit some pitch, maybe like this. But I think the softer front is important here on this track, so I want to keep that. Plus, maybe to retain some oversteer. Without checking the data, I guess we want to just try have a lower, less squat on the rear. And then let's see if that does already a reasonable change, but we'll certainly need the wing. I don't see a way to really go down with the wing. That's like a given on the Audi. I mean, no, I can be fast with a McLaren on a Monza for sure, but it needs time. So the advice you probably want is you'd give for any car on Monza is go with as little drag as you can possibly handle the car, and then make it stable via the ride heights and the suspension. Meaning make it rather stiff. Oh, I did the Bentley, it's old already, no? I think almost aggressive preset was already enough to... Okay, so this doesn't turn there anymore, so that's a good direction, I think. Which means we want... either we try it this way, which could be weird, or we try something here. Maybe here. Tiny changes. Not really a fixed procedure. Like, so what I mean, it depends what the target is, right? Right now I'm trying to make a setup that's somewhat fast and drivable for the masses. But if I had to do a setup for when we have competition, then of course the setup develops over weeks. So it's certainly something different than I can produce here on stream. Okay, now it turns again. So weird, none of my breakpoints really works, because the BMW has to brake so early compared to all other cars. So 31 seems a bit far away. 32 seems to be a reasonable target. Much more stable here now. That's good. And yeah, just about flat out through here. We can get there. Bit understeering, but looks fixable. So aggressive preset, not that bad. A few clicks away from that by now. The lift is a bit much there, but it feels like the car doesn't turn in otherwise. Maybe have to find a different way. Maybe the brake bias just has to move further back still. I'll try next lap. And maybe TC is also a bit much. very understeery on the brake, so I'll certainly find something in the ABS and brake bias. Just about 32, probably not many laps away. Let's see. Yeah, TC1 will probably help. Ja, ich habe die Bump-Stop Range extra rausgenommen, weil in der schnellen rechts dass mir das Heck um die Ohren fliegt. Aber ich guck's mir nochmal an. So, yeah, sadly a bit late to see the temperature impact of the camper. Anyway, so there's something here to have, I guess. This just looks a bit much. So get a little more rotation from there. So maybe if you think this helps, let's try. And oh yeah, electronics, right? So TC1, ABS down. I guess brake bias can just move quite a bit further back. Let's see how far we can take that. But I will keep the aero like this. It's just not... This doesn't seem reasonable to go more aggressive right now. Try something here. Okay, let's go. Glimmerial. That's an interesting name. And hard to read with all letters being vertical. Yeah. So TC alone is fine. Yeah, come on. The second lift didn't help. Ja, die Nummer alleine reicht aber nicht. So someone's suggesting to move the aero ballast quite a bit forward. The thing is, this number alone is really not worth so much. You also just need to take a look at how it changes dynamically throughout the lap. And if you have the aero balance at like something 3.5 like he's suggesting, I mean I could test it, but I guess then I will have loads of trouble in this corner here. Because then I can brake confidently and the rear is going to come around on me. And then I'm going to lose time. So this was more bad driving right now. Come on. Still nowhere near the right braking points. Tempted to already start clicking in the setup again, but I guess it just needs more. No. The front end just doesn't have the bite right now. It's weird because I didn't change anything in that regard. Oh, restream died. Why? Stupid thing. Be right back. Hello. Chat died for whatever reason. It's not coming back. Yeah, I mean, the rear wing is a tough shift. So nah, it's not a feasible way. So, I mean, if I take the wing off, so I either go 5 wing and more rake, which didn't work, like not at all, or I go less wing, but then I have to plant the rear on the floor and raise the nose. So how do you get to a 3.5 aero balance? Tell me. I mean, once I'm able to read the stupid chat again. Oh, the chat window killed itself. Give me a second. Should be back. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this would move the aero balance forward, but now we have negative rake and a low wing. I'm not exactly convinced. But let's see. Let's see if that does something. I don't care. I'll just try a lap, but I have my doubts this is going to work. And the Audi doesn't really have a negative impact from a higher wing, so you can usually just, yeah, go with the maximum wing without having any additional drag. And here's no straight either, so it would be a track where you run the maximum rear wing usually. It's getting worse. No. So 2 setup iterations back, if I still knew what they were, car was fine. I think it was, have we been here? So if anything, I can put the front the lowest, and then we go from there. But I think it was something like this, right? So we can try this. Let's see. And the car does not seem to like the less preload. Seems to lead to the inside wheel spinning up, and then the TC cuts power. So I'm not convinced by that. Nah. I will try, but I have my doubts because I'm really trying to work around the car trying to kill you in the fast right, and that's what bump stop range does. Are you just telling me random numbers for the brake bias? But why does it start at 64 then? Nah, 59 is too much. I mean, if you want to drive that, good luck, but it's not reasonable. I'm scared of the fast left. I wonder why I'm not gaining at all. Okay, ich glaube, den Satz schreibst du einfach nochmal, weil das verstehe ich nicht. Kann man auch schnell fahren. What the car hates is, as soon as it starts bouncing, you never get the rear to grip up on exit, so that is horrible. And I don't really see the point of the additional there on the front. A tiny bit maybe, but not that much. This here is certainly, this can certainly move further to the back. Monitor flickering. Where did I stop the car 2 corners in? So yeah, no clue about if camera is good or not. I'll just go again. Ja, aber wenn dein Auto dir nicht erlaubt zu lenken und zu bremsen, dann hast du halt ein Problem im Rennen. Und so ein Setup wollen wir nicht. Wir wollen ein Setup, das Spielraum hat. Du kannst halt kein 2-Stunden-Rennen zu Ende fahren, wenn dir dein Auto um die Ohren fliegt. How are you still awake, Zach? How did the rear just got worse? I went the opposite direction. That's weird. My perception just made it more understeering and it got more oversteering. That was an interesting one. Probably my brain. Ja, aber ich kann es dir erklären, das liegt am Pitch. Ja, weil das Auto, die Aerobalance so aggressiv ist und wenn du dann noch Pitch erlaubst mit 5er Bumpstop-Range oder so, dann geht es in der Kurve nicht. Ich kann das fixen. Ich muss nur sehen, dass das Auto dann auch auf dem Rest der Strecke funktioniert. Das ist das Ziel hier. It's better again. The gearing is a bit in between. Second gear is gonna run out mid-corner, third gear is too low in the revs. And this is the rear there, trying to get away. Like, as you bleed off the brake, the rear starts skidding, so either the weight doesn't come back, just about flat. But it's just not going faster, so must be something else. Why should I say your name? Joe to go. If you had an easier name, maybe that's more likely to happen. Yeah, change the gearbox. I would. I can't. I would totally change the gearbox, but it's impossible. So temperatures on the rear. Say the 7 degrees is at least what ours suggests. So I wonder a bit why the rear doesn't want to grip up. I could try the roll bar kind of thing, but I'm not sure. So this is now the point where you need to know the car, and knowing the car takes hours and days and weeks. I don't want to have that much understeer though, Gregor, because I don't have value. So the steps in the spring are just very large. That's my issue a bit. That doesn't make sense, I guess. So if anything, I can try the softer rear, but then we need to, let's see how that plays out. You want to all make, you all want to do too many changes at a time. And what is what is the preset from YouTube? What's that supposed to mean? There are presets in the game already. I don't have a SimuCube. No, that's horrible. Like the rear immediately loses grip as you turn. This is not the way. This is not the way. Let's try an overall stiffer car again. You don't want a sluggish rear. I have a feeling it's the engine near the back that's causing the car to roll, and at some point it just lifts up a tire. I mean, not literally, but unloads the inside tire too much. Now it gets bumpy over the curbs. Nice. But yeah, you hear the TC killing everything. Not good. Guys, you're suggesting random things. So from now on, if you make a setup suggestion, you also explain why. And then I think we might get somewhere. And the why, I mean the whole thing. The whole chain of impact on the car. So if you say more bump stop rate to the rear, why? Because I can say 10,000 things to change to get something, but why? And you start with what's the problem of the car, and then you tell me why the change you're suggesting is addressing it. Let me drive a few laps because I think I was getting sidetracked with that. It's every time I touch the steering wheel, the rear end gets loose and the traction control starts working against me. So the rear is just has a general issue. So that was a good sentence. I can work with that. I just fear that we get the rollback, but let's see. I was more thinking in terms of response, the front response, but the rear doesn't. It doesn't have a build to grip. So I could think about dampers, but I don't want to go so complex in the setup. It can't be that bad to begin with. No, it's not because of the rear up. I literally ask you just for your own sake, think through what you're suggesting and why and what does it changes to the car. Like the whole chain of reactions. What does the roll bar actually do and what will happen if you change it? That's very long sentences you have to make. But with the stiffer springs now, it's a bit too meh about the curbs. But yeah, lower rear roll bar seems to help in the first few corners. But here the rear skidding is, I mean, I can drive around that, but when I'll get slower. Yeah, there is that issue again. So in that corner, I need much more stability for this to be a drivable setup. So why did it become worse now? Guess it's the harder rear swing. So we want to have, I think this was a good balance to start with. But this is not going to work. I wonder where it comes from, because it wasn't there before. And now the front spring is stiffer, and there shouldn't be as much pitch, but the issue is more pronounced, so it has to be the rear spring, that it doesn't squat at all. Nah. I don't think why? No guys, more Ys. You have to do more Ys. I don't know why reducing rear bump stop. And what do you mean? Rate or gap? So the car does have more traction out of the corner, but into the corner with the lower roll bar on the rear, it's very loose. It's crazy that it takes like 3 laps to do 33.0 with an almost unchanged setup, and then it takes another 500 to find a few more tenths. I think we were at some point going in a completely wrong direction because the setup was just getting worse every lap and I didn't save it. So we start on the aggressive preset. And I changed the pressures, I think, by 10 all around or so. There was 7, I think this was more like 12. And this must have been another 7. And this was like 15 or so. So, and then we went on to make it more stable with 1 more click rear wing and 2 less clicks right height. And then it started behaving. Then we did change the roll bar, which had a positive impact, and we changed the amount of pitch that we were allowing the car to have. We changed the brake bias, and this was a working base. This should be fine. And we didn't touch that at all, so let's try again. Too much text, sorry. But it's good to see that other cars are shit in the first sector here as well. Nah, you're looking, with a brake balance, you're looking in the wrong direction. So for now, like immediately lap time is better again, even though it's not improving. But it's right where we left off before we started making all these changes. So I think the car doesn't need much. But it's horrible on the brakes. Like as soon as I touch the brake, the ABS kicks in, and that's usually not what you'd expect from a GT3. Should be much more tolerant. So let's try to go more extreme on the brake bias, but I don't think that will help. It will, if anything, make it less stable. Interesting. Interesting that it seems to behave differently, but there's just a very thin line that you're able to drive on through that sector. And the car isn't making it a lot of... car isn't making it really easy. I'm never going to reduce brake pressure, no. Oh, we changed this also. I make the rear soft. Then you get more roll, and you would need more camber. So if you reduce the camber, not sure. Then we have to reduce the camber all around, because else the rear gets loose. But usually the car just limited in camber because it gets ridiculous. I don't think you can have too much. Yeah, if you say the toe is high, then why do you want to change it because the number is high, or because the car behaves in a way that you would think you need less toe? Because right now the issue is not that the rear is not rotating, it's rotating too much in some scenarios. There could be a bit more front bite on liftoff. I hate when the delta doesn't change at all. No, don't think there's an official average that because a preset is slower. Oh, just my driving is shit. No, the soft rear kills all rotation, so we must limit the rear squat by a lot. So first like this a bit, and then go way down here. I'd have to check if the bump stops actually touch, but you only see when they're compressed halfway through, yada yada yada. Just takes too much time to actually check in Motec. That's the issue. Or RST for that matter. When I'm not allowed to swing the rear around now, so it has basically too much rear traction going into these corners. So maybe now there is reason to change the aero balance, but I'm not a fan of it. The car is not good with rake. Just have to find that point where it starts reacting in these type of corners. .42.5 on Imola does sound very slow. It's crazy how bad the front end grip is on the brakes. Maybe there's one of the cars where you have to drive higher ABS. It almost feels like a GT4. Yeah, so you're telling me to drive negative toe on the Audi. Big doubts. Because that's an inherently unstable setup. You really need to find the exact point to... So what the car needs is more range to be off the 100% perfect line. And it just doesn't have that right now. This does not have the front end bite that we need. And I'm not even getting through the whole lab to really say something about it. Let's give it a tiny bit extra. I'm not trying 90% pressure because I'm losing maximum braking capacity, and there are certain places where I can floor the brakes without any ABS interaction, so I'm throwing away lap time. No. If anything, I have to make my trail braking better. So reducing capacity in the car is never a way forward. 90% brake pressure, if anything, is masking wrong inputs. So we don't want to mask wrong inputs, we want to drive right. Why did the TC just come on? Again, I think we're not going in the right direction, like at all. Like at all. We could try and use less positive rear toe, but we're certainly not going negative. This is not going to be handleable in this car, I'd say. Hey, Onab, I said it earlier. If you make a setup suggestion, add your reasoning, please. Because we have at least 30 options that we can do something about. And we need to choose one over the other. And why? You're not going to get anywhere just dialing something in. You have like 30 seconds settings on the car, each with, I don't know, at least 30 different positions. So if you're trying to dial the setup in, forcing serendipity, you'll have a few billion options to try, and I can tell you for sure you're not gonna find, by chance, the right setting. So there needs to be a reason behind every change you make. No guys, no single setup change suggestions without a very long reasoning. Very simple. I don't like it. The best setup I liked was the initial one I had. Everything else is going to shit. Yeah, Onab, it's wrong though. The thing with a caster is you get more camber the more you turn the wheel. I don't see that camber, a lack of camber on the front is the issue. Yeah, the million monkey part is, I guess, good. So starting over, this was 7. This was something like 10, I think. This was 12. I should save it for now. So just going back to what we know was working. This was this. It was certainly this. It was this. It was there. And we've been here. This is all right. This was not. And we didn't change anything here, in fact. This was the setup that was working. Let's make a savey thing here. Also, that's the thing why I lately was lazy creating data. It takes too long. It simply takes too long. I can't do it. This was working. Well, we can try even less. And I agree with that. Just that now the front is slacking. we're not bottoming out, so maybe we can go lower there and there. So what you want to do is you want to have less camber all around, but the thing is you don't have dynamic camber on the rear, right? You can only have dynamic camber changes on the front, meaning taking some of it out under braking. But then you have the issue that the rear needs to follow in place, right? And the front end now under turning, if we add a little caster here, is that we will gain camber on the front while turning, but we won't gain so on the rear, and then the car becomes unstable. I suspect that. I think when they made the aero change in December, the Audi suffered a bit because it's always an aggressive aero balance you have now, unless you go negative with a brake. At least we're not losing time. Oh, you want to scream at the car in the engine to finally fucking go. Oh, it does bottom out now. Interesting. No, it's just unstable there still. And it has no front end bite still. It's a shit car, to say the least. I don't want to try random things, to be honest. So interestingly, that 1 millimeter is needed. Didn't expect that. And this will be... So this should roughly give the same balance with harder springs, less dynamic car. Probably. Let's see. Chain link the BMW? No. But this was a request on the Discord, so I'm trying to punish myself a bit. Camber versus caster is not random. Okay. So the front is more lively now, responding a bit more to my inputs, which is good. Oh yeah, now with the hard rear spring, the rear doesn't build the grip anymore. Yep, we don't know how much caster does, how much camber in the corner. You have to feel that. But I had to do something. Decreasing caster help top end speed. No, I don't see that. If I use, no, 90% brake pressure is not going to solve it. It's just not the issue. The issue of the car is not on the brake in general. I don't see the point. It's not like I can't get it slowed down or turned. I'm not running into the ABS by issue. I can just change my foot a bit and then this is fine. It's all about the balance. Let's try something in this direction now, because with a harder rear spring, I fear I'll sooner or later have to look into the damper shed. No. Brake pressure is a constant, period. At least the chat is alive. Okay, so repeating the time, which is half an hour of nothing gained. Oops, that's an off track, or? No. So, it seems to work that all around stiffer springs, offset with a bit of front roll bar, leads to a at least drivable, stable, and as quick car as before, but it is a little less tolerant for losing grip and gaining it back, which of course makes sense. So you have to be more precise. So ideally, you kind of get the same thing working with softer springs, but I don't really see how. So, more ideas. Let's read 500 different ideas. You, just for the sake of your own setup development, you really have to start develop a pattern where you formulate cleanly what each change is trying to address. There's so many A leads to B, leads to C, leads to D, leads to E, leads to less F, that it's very, very, very easy to get it wrong. So your take, was it virus, is to reduce front camber to do what? And then to increase caster to do what? I mean, open to try, but why and how much? And it's not like I have 0 front grip. That's pretty much not true. Das ist ja über Restream alles. Positive toe gives more turn and rotation. No. So the front toe, what the only thing the front toe really does is slow down or delay your initial turn-in input. So it's something I can solve by steering quicker or more aggressively. So touching the front toe to get more grip is, no, that's the wrong way. That is not true. Actually, if anything, you get more grip from negative front toe because the inside wheel will turn a bit more than the outside wheel does. And if you do positive front toe, then the inside wheel will work against the outside wheel that's carrying the majority of the load. So no, positive toe on the front is not where you want to go. I can agree with less camber and getting it back during the corner with more caster, but it will also increase the steering forces quite a bit and make the car more difficult with bumps. Yep, the outside wheel is the gripping one. So why do you want to change the inside one? Don't think you're on the right path with it. It's front toe to change car behavior is more of a masking thing of wrong inputs. It's not changing the maximum available grip at all. It only makes the car more responsive because it's already turning with very, very tiny inputs. So you just offset your too slow turning and you make it more aggressive and harder to tame and more likely to be erratic. I agree with a lower camber gives you more in a straight line braking, okay, but we need to get it back in the corner again. So let's do only the toe thing, okay? It's only changing the way I need to turn, but it's not changing the amount of available grip. So now it's super responsive on turn and I have to make very tiny things on the steering wheel. I made a sensitive car even more sensitive now, so over long run it's harder to drive. Yeah, but when you say initial turn and you're saying if I turn faster, I'd get the same thing. Right now it's just always on razor's edge at the front, and if I turn a tiny bit too much, the rear is going to slip away on the entrance. It's just too sensitive now for you as a driver to still play with the car and get additional time to place it. I've reduced overall my turning angle and the range I need to use to get the same effect. So I disagree. It's just getting more sensitive, and more sensitive means it's easier to lose the rear. Because if you exaggerate or use too much of the front end too quickly, the rear's unable to follow. So actually what we want to do is reduce response of the front and make the rear grip up a bit quicker. The other thing is, I'd ideally like to drive softer, but it doesn't seem to work with how the car pitches and all that. Maybe I control a bit of that rear getting slippery on entry with more preload. So positive front bend, it's just going to make it more aggressive, and the car's going to be erratic on the straight. You can barely drive straight with it. You're making it inherently unstable and ultra responsive. And now I only need like, I don't know, 60 degrees on the steering wheel in each direction instead of 90, and this makes it more sensitive, which is not the type of setup I want to build for people on RST, because it's more difficult to drive, and it will confuse people that the car rotates when they have the wheel straight. So I'm not aiming to do a world record setup. I'm trying to do something where people can do a race with, or feel comfortable in the car, and a super aggressive front does not make people comfortable. Especially since it doesn't affect the total grip, it just changes the way you have to drive it. So I'm barely turning now, and the rear is already slipping, because the front is too quickly going into the corner. It doesn't build the grip, it just veers into a direction the rear can't follow. No, that's exactly what I meant. You get snappy behavior because the tire is doing something you don't expect it to do. So the positive toe idea is gone. I'd even go further, to be honest. Let's try something like this to make the entries less aggressive. Should we try that? Less rear roll bar. It's going to reduce the amount of rotation a bit, but maybe we can get something back here. You're still working on the braking thing. I don't have the braking issue. Like, I can slam it in a straight line. Perfectly fine. If anything, we get more weight on the front with a... You just can't drive it. You just can't drive it that way. I don't see that. We're going in circles as well. And I don't like going in circles. It's like it's missing a setting in between. So we either have this. This. Or if we go one down on the front, we get and pull the rear spring with it to not entirely fuck up the balance. It's still going to be unbalanced. And then if you go further here, it's kind of going into the opposite direction. So the only decent balanced way here right now I have with the springs is this. And everything else needs working and a different way to set up. No, I'm getting distracted. I'm making changes that don't need to be touched, to be honest. We were in a good place for a second here. Then we were getting sidetracked. Let's see if we need that much all around. Let's work a bit on the driver than the car. I want to get my frames. I feel like the monitor is missing a setting right now. So the agreement with BMW that we have is a certain amount of races, and it's quite a few races, so unlikely there are races left where I can drive something else. Just a time constraint in the end. What are you going to drive? I don't get the question. So offsetting a certain behavior coming from the springs and offsetting it with the dampers is not really the way to look at it, because springs and dampers do different things on the car. They don't do the same thing, just with it being a different part of the car. So it's not the way to think of that in terms of trade-offs. Overall, the bump compliance is pretty shit. You want a soft car, but the car doesn't want to be soft. That's my issue in the end. I want a soft car, but the track doesn't want me to. Maybe we have to try a little more extreme. Then we'll bottom out, I guess. But maybe the bump stop saves us there. Let's see what happens without doing anything else than that. Ja, also das kommt ja dann auf das Rennen und die Competition an. Also weiß nicht, wir fahren dann halt, was das Schnellste ist. Aber ich glaube ohnehin, dass wir nicht zu so einer Competition kommen dieses Jahr. Wir sind ausgebucht quasi schon. Soft is certainly more pleasing, but I'm afraid of the fast ride ahead. But long time since the Delta was green all the way through the lap. A bit wobbly now, and very responsive on the front, and the rear stand is kind of trying to follow. And then you as a driver have to wait with your next input until the rear is back in place. Can't believe I'm chasing my own tail for at least half an hour by now. But the quickest lap was still almost with the aggressive preset. And everything afterwards had very little time gaining impact. Definitely there's a lack of stability in the fast ride again, which is just makes it very difficult to be confident. But we were trying to get away from the stiff front. I'd do something else, to be honest. Give the front a little more to work and make the aero less aggressive. Let's see how that goes. And maybe we want to go back with the front roll bar or so, but not yet. Not yet. The rear's a bit sluggish. Let me just get a quick... I did so many laps already. Horrible. Very, very horrible. There's a massive bump bias on the front. So I might want to address that. What does the rear say? The rear is almost fine. I think it can take one more bump as well. Let's see. It's getting horribly warm in here, but I can't open the window because in a house down the street they had a bit of an issue with the drainage and it smells like hell outside. I need to fix the PC. Something's wrong. Don't have any frames. And I don't quite get where that is coming from. Is there too much shit running in the background? Should be. Hello. Hello. Fucking game, man. Now ACC doesn't let me tap out, which is... Why? Full screen disabled. Thank you. It's too much shit running. Okay, nice stuff. Let me close a few things, sorry. Maybe just my brain not there yet. Emails pouring in. I haven't done a single data set. That's the horrible part of it. Anyway. Wrong button. There. Come on. Ich arbeite gar nicht mit High Low Speed Boundary. Um genau zu sein. Wasn't Misano just one of these tracks that's in general very horrible on FPS? Because I remember when we had the Sprint Cup here, it was just outright shit in terms of frames. I have a different preset somewhere, I think. I don't even have that many pixels by now. Not that this is going to change much. Shitty Game Boy. It's just a track. I remember this. Doch, gibt es bei RST. Ich arbeite einfach nur nicht damit. Ich glaube, da wird einfach zu viel Rocket Science angenommen und man muss das alles überhaupt nicht machen. Frames drop like 30 frames through this corner. I start disliking the car. That depends if Fanatec sends me one. But I'm certainly not going to buy one because it's an entry-level DD and I have a Well, high-end DD. Wow, a green Delta. Who would have thought? Guys, same story as ever, it's just the driving. And if you drive shit, you're gonna lose time. So the time is there, I just need to drive it. Oh, I need fresh air, but outside stings like a barn. So I don't think I have to change much here, to be honest. So let me just think of a few, 2-3 convenience things. So going through the lab. So let's try more this. Let's allow the rear to... Oh yeah, I wanted to check if the histogram has changed. It has, by quite a lot. Quite a lot. So the rear looks good now. The front was a bit too much of a change, I think. How's the rebound? How is the rebound? No need really. Rebound by his right rear, makes sense. Dennis would probably do something about the fast dampers, but I'm not smart enough to see it. So the only thing I'm gonna do is drive, and that will lead to a quicker lap time, I can tell you that. I'd wish I'd be able to push a bit more into the corners, but the rear is just not following my desire there. Oh, ich rede nicht die ganze Zeit Deutsch, weil halt viele Englische zugucken. Also ganz einfach. Yeah, guys, I'm playing ACC for a while now, and it's, usually the frames are fine. Why would the setting change in Steam?
He's trying to stay on the track.
But I'm getting somewhere, I can feel it. The driving does become better. And if I combine all the places where I saw myself gaining time already, then we're looking at what, 30, 32, 8 or 7 or so. It's this corner where the rear gets super light. Because you have to brake so deep into the corner, and not entirely sure what is happening, so I can't really do anything right now to address it. There are many reasons why you lose grip. and each of them needs their own way to deal with it. You can't just say, oh yeah, rear end grip is going to be when X. It depends where the loss of grip comes from. It's the brake bleed off that was always the Audi's problem. And it's not coming back when I bleed off the brakes. And it doesn't allow me. That's my take, at least right now. Because the front springs are rather soft now. And then the front doesn't lift up, the weight doesn't travel back again, and then the rear does not gain back its grip. That's how I'd see it right now. Let's try something else as well. I'm melting in here, it's crazy. So if you're plateauing, you're gonna find out why. In the end, it's driving technique. So look at driving technique. So if you're 5 seconds down on Spa, there's more fundamentally something wrong. And I guess it's not line, it's not throttle, it's everything combined that you do usually. But you'd only find out if you look at the data, so I can't tell. Hey Yuri. So the M6 is good in a straight line. That's the pro. And the rest is bad. Maybe it's fuel efficient, but not really. Just has a bigger fuel tank by BOP in some tracks. So there aren't many advantages to it, other than that it drives as you'd expect a car to drive. But it's slow, sadly. Oh boy. When did we get so low on the front? No, your actual best take is to look at telemetry, and that's the exact thing what I'm doing here. I'm trying to create reference telemetry for you to see, fuck's sake, what am I doing? Where you can see how you can improve as a driver, because you can lay your data on top of it. That's what whole RST database is about. To be honest, I don't think they nerfed the BMW too much. It's like a 10th or so. Or 2, I don't know, not that much.
Damn it. So the preload gives me the stability on the turn-in for the next 2 corners. But I feel like I'm losing a bit of rotation in the corners where I'm committed to the throttle. Fuck me, how am I gonna know lap times for all different temperatures, guys? It's ridiculous. I just know the... I don't even know the 34s in most cars in the temperatures I have right now, and some cars will make it to 33. How can you come up with those type of questions? It's mind-boggling. So I wanted something else. I want more limited rear squats. Even more. Even more. Tiny bit extra, and maybe let's try something here. So Fisuki, I do have on the Discord, there are a few channels around the database stuff. And there's one channel with a screenshot of all current entries in the database. So there must be like 100 and something data sets. Such a thin line there. And I'm sure if it's damping too much or if it's damping too little, because there are a few bumps in the road. Doesn't seem too happy to handle it. Let's try something. It's random, sorry. But I'm trying to limit the movement up in the suspension and speed up the movement down, so maybe the tire stays on the road. No, if you're not touching it, you're not changing anything, but you can't tell if you touch it because the trigger in Motec, if you're touching the bump stops, is only going to show once the bump stop is compressed halfway, so it's a bit of a messy thing. Change something, and it's all this, where is it, foliage, view distance. I just want to change all the stuff on the side of the track. Where is it? Well, it's only foliage, right? Oh, there's nothing else. That game, man. Unreal 4 was the best and worst choice as an engine for a racing game. These are 32, must be 32. I don't care if it's a 9, 8, 7. It's just hard to drive. What bothers me a bit is that the car just sometimes bottom out under braking on the curbs, and then the next lap it doesn't, so it's a bit... feels a bit random, which is odd. It's like the front right height calculation fails sometimes in the pits. So the idea is to not worry about setups at all, because what you can see here demonstrated really nicely is I took the aggressive preset, made 5 clicks, got to a 33.0, and I've made since then 500 more clicks and I haven't improved a bit. There's just more potential, but it's hard to carve out. So yeah, aggressive presets one way or another should be fine. I'm so triggered by this car. Every lap it drives different. And are they going to tell me that one click here takes away 10% of the grip? Never fucking ever. Now the time is there apparently. Just not driving it to the end. Shame it was off track in turn 2. So, okay, the time is there, just have to drive it in a clean lab, if you allow me to. I'm not changing my wheel, no. I mean, I have holes in good ultimates, why would I move to the V3s? Doesn't make sense. Interesting. No, so this data here will end up in the RST database, because that's what I'm doing it for. Come on, man! It's such a thin line to squeeze the time out, it's very painful. So let me check if I'm missing something in the world. Aber so weit sind meine Dämpfer-Setting ja gar nicht weg. Nein. Ah, tiny bit extra, just a tiny bit more. I'm sweating. So very simple, guys. I can't do BMW in general. Because I will always have a proper setup in the BMW that hopefully gives us a competitive edge, and I cannot I just can't forget these settings. So if I do RST labs, then I take all my knowledge I have of the BMW and will eventually lead to the setup or be in the setup, and I just don't want to share that because we still have quite a while to go with this car. And every information I share might make us weaker, so no, there won't be any BMW data. Very simple. Just any 32 really. I mean, I've done it, just not valid. No, this doesn't help. This does not help on the rear, just makes it brake traction and then skid about. So this is not it. This is not it. I don't want to go that deep. I wanted to do a quick data set, but it's now taken forever at least, right? So it's now 2 hours and I haven't gone anywhere. That's the horrible part of this whole data shit. It's pain. It is a lot of pain. What is the RST database for? It's for you to compare your driving against mine, so you know that the majority of your issues are your driving, not the setup. So, and it's not, and then to figure out what you need to change. That's what the RST database is for. Oh, come on. The off tracks are so painful. There's a link in the description, mate. And to see the content of the database, you need to be on Discord. getting vibes from the Lambo Kialami stream because it took forever as well. The rear on the car is just a shit show. No! Well, it had to happen like this, didn't it? If I could keep any of the momentum through the corner. I'd say I'm consistent. Screw this delta, man. It shows negative, shows 32, but it won't make one. Okay, another lap, I guess just 10 more or so. What do you mean in real life? My road car? Yeah, it's all about driving. And staying within the track limits. So that was a line that worked, didn't it? Really, am I losing that much? horrible rear end. So let's save that abysmal replay. I'll save the setup as is and wish you best of luck with that. How do we name it? I'm completely sweat. I need a shower. It's crazy. So, do I want to do a second data set? Ugh. Let me just quickly save everything so I'm not throwing anything out the window. Crazy shit. Where's the save button? There. Oh, I need to calibrate the car as well. 1 second. GD3, Audi R8, Misano, 32.9. Car parameters. So let me quickly. I'm gonna do same track Lambo, but yeah, might be useful. Is the track flat here? No. Looks flat here. So my setup ride height 50. So yeah, sorry, this is gonna take a second. Audi R8 Evo, suspension. Let's start with the ride height. 55, 58. Static, that's what we're looking for in a second. Front roll bar is 2 out of 4, so 60. And the rear is 0 out of, well, 0. Front spring 132, rear spring 144. Okay, and static ride height then is... So you can't see that, it's just in Motec. RST. Handling, suspension. On that lab, please. There you go. Time. There, so 17.2, 19.7. 17.2, 19.7. $17.2. What? Okay, the car is saved as well. Audi R8 Misano. R8 Mis. Should we do? Okay. Let me quickly check if there was another Misano request so I can stay on the track. Takes way too long. Way too long, way too long, way too long. Lambo. Or shall we do McLaren? Tempted to do McLaren. There's no setup, no website with my setups, but all the setups I do for the database are on the database in the RST software with the data subscription. So you'll have to get RST and the data add-on, and there's a couple, I think it's above 100 setups and telemetry sets. McLaren, okay. And we also have a livery. And I guess I have a setup somewhat. So I don't have a setup. Nice. Okay, let's start with aggressive preset. So because why not? Let's see. I know a few things on the McLaren that usually work. There's probably no point in having the aero more aggressive than that. Probably not even this. I guess we want to be harder on both ends. Probably want to limit this a bit. And I know the car just likes roll bars. Boy, it likes roll bars. And this is entirely wrong. Let's do something like this, 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 this. Maybe like this. And pressures will be wrong by probably similar than before. Let's see where we end up with this. I thought I was driving it before, but apparently I have not. Okay, pressure's on the right way too much. Left side looked okay. Yeah, bye mate. Let's see how far we get with that. Coffee is weird, I can tell you that. Feels like I'm driving into the ground. Oh, the rear end grip. Almost confusing. Stability under braking. Okay, the typical McLaren rear end getting loose at brake lead off. Okay, I guess it's a lot faster. Oh no, we don't have much time left. Because the headset is about to go empty. Pressure's still a bit off. Yeah, BOP is just a shit show in this game, man. 2 laps with the aggressive preset and faster than the Audi after 2 fucking hours. And I have no way how to drive it yet. Well, I guess you're wrong. It's fast. Okay, so what's wrong with it? I said pressures, so that could be more. There should be less. This stood alright. Does not. Camber felt alright. Where does it rotate? Where does it not? Slow corner rotation was lacking a bit. Oh, why is it like this? Doing softer or harder? I think softer, actually. I know it just likes roll bar. Let's do roll bar. Was there any issue with that? Not really. Totally. So what do I need to aim for here in the Porsche? Or is one of the Porsche's super weak tracks here? There's so much time. I would be driving decent. Yeah. Sweet, and this one I have to brake. Feels like I have to brake a lot earlier than all others. I can be later. The McLaren is such a tragedy on the brakes. Ah, come on. Why is there even an off-track possible? So yeah, I'm not entirely sure if the soft thing is kind of going the right way. But I also can't feel anything in the car that's horribly bad also, to be honest. It just drives fine. It just needs some time to do a decent lap. Ideally, I'd want to have more downforce, but it's already bottoming out in a few places, so this should be fine. Maybe you want to try. Don't think we want to, because the rear's already kind of lively on entries. Usually like something like this. Let's try the other direction. I have no clue about the GT4 Aston. Don't think I've ever driven it except the first day. Come on, rotate. Let's aim at a 0.5 and then I'm happy. Come on.
He's trying to stay on the track.
How can he be off track then? Yeah, it does have front end bite, but the rear is kind of always hanging in the air, and it goes so freaking straight on the brakes. Have to be very, very precise and careful with your brake input. And some might suggest to lower the brake power, but I just disagree. So a bit less of whatever it does there on the rear. And maybe more preload can address it actually. And what the f is that? Never seen the suspension like that. But the rebound is already soft, so it does come back down. Very interesting. Without looking at any other histograms. Not sure I'm going. Pfft. That looks very weird, I have to say. Why does it not have any rebound? But in the end, I'll tell you, we'll end up with very, very hard roll bars because the car hates to roll on the rear. Nah, on Silverstone you pretty much have max roll bars as well, so yeah. Don't think there's a track, maybe here. But right now my direction I'm going, it's not here. Yeah, roll bars, just free lap time. Yeah, exactly. Make it stiff and, you know, add downforce. Oh boy. I should go for 4.4. It's all in there. Easily. And the setup is just a few clicks old. Oh dear, just lap time is just falling. I'm driving bad still. Ah, shame. So, good chance to take a look at the pressures. Because they were getting a bit out the window on the left rear. That's actually fine. Yeah, half a second lap time difference, especially given that I haven't even tried yet, right? It's a bit horrible when you think of it. Still not entirely happy with the car. There's more in it. Maybe we don't want to have maxed out everything here. It's a bit of a meh thing. I would give it more downforce, but I feel we're just gonna hit the ground too often, so this should be fine. And there's not too much to gain, I'd say. And then we'd also have to limit front end travel. And I like a bit of compliance, so I say we just keep it up there as it has been. Don't really need to raise the rear as well, I think. Not really. Just wonder where more could be hidden, but there isn't really that much. The car just goes fast outright without you even trying. Actually just streaming through Restream. That thing redistributes. Your lap time still wasn't fast in the Porsche. There's a car that can go a bit quicker than that. Now I have to find a better line here. And no, whatever change I just made wasn't a good idea. And did anyone remember? I think it was like this, was it? Nothing else. Changed nothing else. It was just that. Weird as... No, I didn't change anything else. Oh yeah, okay, maybe that was... Thank you, forgot. So maybe we actually go higher. Maybe that helps. when it still rolls so much. Maybe get a bit of rear end grip there. Tiny bit, tiny bit. Still so oversteered though. I wonder if I can go even lower with the rear. The car likes a low rear. It does work with rake, but it likes a low rear just so you get the weight on the rear tires. But I guess as before, it's just the driver feeling some placebo. Yeah, much better rear. Don't underestimate the power of a single millimeter. On a car setup. I think I take it. So, what was that? 6/10 without even trying. Crazy shit show. So, RST NN 720 as Misano. There you go. Now calibrate the right height. I think the millimeter only applies on race cars with downforce. Yeah, I got the replay already. Now I just quickly have to do the RST stuff. 1 second. It just takes a bit. So this. Where are my damper speeds? There. 15.8, 17.1. Can you remember this? Thank you. 15.8, 17.1, 15.8, 71, 15.8, 71. 15.8, 17.1. Okay, so I got that. And the normal ride height is 52 and 69. And the spring rate, well, 100, come on. 150 and 156. And the roll bars were 120 and 147, so it's 84. Okay, save that. McLaren. So I'll get this all uploaded. Should take a few days, and I will try later on to at least get a third data set done also. But yeah, this again took way longer than expected, but I guess also because the Audi was shit. It was a dumb choice. You need to choose a fast car. So do we want to make a like Tortellini style hot lap now? Sorry, needed to tease a bit. Tortellini style hot lap means we go into winter and drive a second faster. No, I wasn't saying anything. Nothing in that direction was said. Did I save the set? Yeah, I did save the setup. 32.3, it's nuts. Yeah, I have enough races and I have enough work to do, and I can't spend every evening in the rig. This will make me crazy a bit. We want to go down with the temperatures, right? So I think this time is all right. We just need to, oops, go down here to maximum tortellini level. Add some cloud. Nah. That is cold. So we'll probably need, I don't know, 10 clicks more pressure or so. If not more. Okay, let's see how this... Oh dear. Oh, nah, pressures on the right side won't work like that. That is too much. This is fine. Let's do like this. Why no clouds? You want track temp? But I hate when the sun comes down. Yeah, clouds are depressing. Five! That's the tortellini temp. You fucking cheater, mate.
Green light. Go, go, go.
5 degrees. 5,000 horsepower releasing now. What a terrible start. I cannot see shit. Oops. I think brakes are a bit cold. We need to reduce brake ducts, I think. Oh dear. Maybe it's too cold now for the tires. I think this is too cold. Losing a full PSI throughout the lap. A single lap. No, I think we've overdone it. It's fine, I don't want the sun on my face. Better. Maybe. I had something on my mind that I wanted to change, but oh yeah. Who needs brake ducts? $126 at Zandvoort. Which corner did you cut? All of them? What weather did we have here in the Sprint Cup? It was cold as well, right?
Because it always is.
I can hear the brakes melting. Yeah. Not even faster. I have to adapt a bit first. Come on. Sorry guys, console is faster than PC, isn't it? Or did they change that with the latest update? Come on, let's do 31. Come on, it pulls me to the outside every time. Okay, if this is not a 31, then there's one more lap, but then we call it an end to this pointless endeavor. Certainly won't be now. How fast did you go, Zahir? Here in Sprint Cup. I forgot, you got pole, right? Ah wait, no, Amia's not driving with you in the Sprint Cup, only the World Cup, right? Okay, so one more it is. No, I never played Kartcraft. Oh, I'll be live for a couple more minutes, but... Oh, the stupid bump. Some evil force wants to prevent the 31. Oh, there must be 300s in the last sector. Expected a bigger jump in lap time though. No!
He's trying to stay on the track.
Well, let's say it's doable. Okay. We've proven the nothing. Just that cold is faster than warm. Okay, guys, I need to quit. Who is Shaq Crit? $32.5. Oh dear, what a shame. So yeah, 32.3 after changing the aggressive preset a bit. So should have been quicker, I guess. 0.4. Anyway, okay. I'll call it a day. Be back next week, the latest, for the Sprint Cup on some track. Zolder, I think. Yeah, Zolder is next up. Okay. Thanks everyone. Hope this was halfway useful. See you soon.